Hey guys, so I had a very interesting dream last night, and I am going to mimic what I saw in my dream, and I'm going to show y'all what I saw. Okay, so this is going to be how to make a decision with emotional authority. I was just waiting and waiting for my next idea for a human design video, and let me turn off my stove real quick. I had to turn that off because I couldn't really hear myself think. So this was for my next human design video. I was like, what am I going to post about? What am I going to talk about? So I wanted to make this pretty straightforward, might be kind of short video on how to make decisions with emotional authority and what an emotional wave really looks like. And I have emotional authority, so I can really explain and show you guys. I'm gonna draw a picture, like a diagram, to show y'all what exactly I saw in my dream. So it's just a weird thing, but let's get into it. So this is what it looks like. So this is before you get a choice, a decision, something comes to you. You're a blank canvas, right? You may have some other feelings going on, but you're just blank, you're neutral. Now, when somebody asks you a question, hey, do you want to come here with me? Do you want to go on this date? Can you work these hours? Can you do X, Y, Z? Any type of obligation, any type of commitment. Then you get a wave, right? So this is what your wave looks like. Show you. In a nutshell, the wave starts going. First, you start here at point 1. This is the point of, we're going to call it initial excitement. All right, so your wave starts here. When somebody asks you if you want to do something, you automatically shoot up. Woohoo, yeah, I'd love to do that. But when you have emotional authority, your emotional authority is what gets the final say-so in your decisions. So this is the first part. This is like strategy. When you first get an invitation, when you first get something to respond to, when you first get an idea of inspiration to create something, when you first get an insight of any kind, this is your first initial reaction. This is only the first part of your strategy. Now, to follow out all of your authority, you have to ride this wave until you get to right here. This is that middle ground. That is neutrality. That's where we want to get to. In neutrality, there's still going to be some excitement there, but it's not going to be so overwhelming of emotion of excitement where you hit that peak. So this peak should be a little bit higher. So pretend it's like it shoots up here and then it comes down. When you're in this down period, this is where you're thinking about, oh shoot, you know what? I actually have something to do that day. I have an appointment. But then you weigh it out, like maybe I can move that around. And then you come back up here and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm on board. And then you come down here again and you're like, well, I'm actually kind of tired. And then you come back up here and say, well, actually, I'm going to get my rest. And maybe I'll say yes, so rest. And then you get to a place when you get here, the neutral place where you can really make a clear decision. Once you've gone through this wave, all these emotions have been had. Now, your job is when you first get to this peak, when somebody invites you, when somebody tells you something, gives you something to respond to, when somebody asks you to do something, you're going to feel that spike of emotion, that spike of, oh yeah, I want to do that. But you don't have no sacral authority. You don't have splenic authority. That means you're not supposed to make decisions on the spot. So instead of being like, just yes, when you get that initial surge of excitement, wait, don't say anything yet. Be like, okay, that sounds like something I really want to do, but let me make sure that I can have the time, the energy, the whatever, and I will get back to you. I will get back to you. I will get back to you. That phrase for emotional authority should be your bestest friend in the whole wide world. That should be written on your forehead. That should be tattooed on you somewhere, I will get back to you. So, another example of this, right? So like with something you really want to do, initial excitement, you ride the wave, you ride the wave, you ride the wave. You don't want to ever like wait too long, because then you may just eventually just say no. But it's better to always wait, whether you give yourself 5 minutes or 5 days, try to wait as long as you possibly can. So another example of what a wave can look like when it's a decision that you're trying to force yourself to do from the mind, right? So let's say somebody asks you to do something and it doesn't really excite you. The invitation doesn't really seem fruitful. It's not really something that's sparking your interest. So you may start here in the middle or start here at a low point. And then you ride this wave and then you go up, down, up. There's a lot more up and down. There's a lot more of this. Instead of it being like a ooh, yes, no, yes, no, yes, it's like a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, or no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, no. So in this case, if you are getting more, I'm not sure, I don't really want to, or just no, then you need to go with that. For emotional authority, you need to go with whichever feelings are most prominent for you. So it'll rarely ever be 50-50. With emotional authority, it's going to be like 70 to 80% sure about doing something. But as long as you're like 70, 80% sure, go ahead and do it. This is probably like 20% sure. After that, you're letting your mind convince you to do something that you don't even want to do. So you would go from this no, like there's like a lot of no's here. No, I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I know it's all. So if you can't make up your mind with emotional authority, if you're very indecisive, indecision is a sign that you need to wait longer or you need to turn down the offer altogether. So indecision equals a no or not right now. But usually it's a no, because that indecisive energy is going to always keep coming back and it's going to really outweigh the certainty. So if indecision outweighs the certainty for making a decision for emotional authority, you're having all these ups and downs, these highs and lows, and you just can't decide, then you should just say no, don't go with it, or wait for another opportunity. Because that's what your emotional authority is telling you. So always wait to make decisions. Go with whichever feeling is the most prominent for you, what feels the best for you. And don't force yourself into something if you're very, very indecisive about it, or if you keep going back and forth with it like a yes, no. This can be a relationship where you're very indecisive about a person. This can be a friendship where one day you're happy to be their friend, the next day you're like, I don't know. That's not good. But feelings change often, but not that quickly for things. So if they're changing that fast, then it's probably not something for you. Or if you're very hesitant about a job and you don't really have an explanation as to why, sometimes it can be your fears, yes, talking you out of things, but there's most circumstances where you know you're really trying to talk yourself into something. If you're trying to talk yourself into something, and it's not just because you're trying to overcome a fear, you're trying to talk yourself into it because you think you should do that, then that might also not be good for you. So that's an easy little visual of how emotional authority looks. It starts with this peak of a excitement and a high. This is not where you should say yes to things or agree to things. You should go down, think about what you got to do, think about your energy levels, think about your other commitments or other obligations. Because if you always say yes in this peak, you're the type of person that's flaky. I already know it. You're the type of person that says yes in the moment. The day gets here to do the thing, you're like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Then people look at you like you're flaky. even if you're not, but that'll prevent you from being flaky. And you go through this, you reach this neutral state, and then you can decide clearly with a clear mind, okay, yeah, I want to do that. Okay, not really feeling it. Here, this diagram, you have all this indecision, this up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You're like, I don't know what to do. Then you just say no, or maybe not right now. So that's emotional authority in a very, very easy nutshell. I have another emotional authority video in my human design playlist. So let me know how that resonates for you guys. And yeah.